Hello, I'm Brian Tracy. I've produced something like 52 books, more than 500 video and audio learning programs. I've spoken to 5 million people in 56 countries over the years, but I never started off believing I could ever do this. I came from a poor home. We never had any money. I started working when I was 10 years old around the neighborhood so I could buy my own pencils and paper and clothes. I never took any money from my parents after the age of 10. I didn't graduate from high school. When I finished high school, I went out and got a job washing dishes. And when I lost that job, I got a job washing cars, and then I washed floors with a janitorial service. I worked from job to job. I worked in factories and mills. I worked on farms and ranches. I worked on a ship in the North Atlantic. My life wasn't going anywhere. And I was really frustrated. And as many people are, I never had any money. I had holes in my shoes. I say I never missed any meals, but I did postpone quite a few indefinitely until my early 20s. And then I looked around me and I saw an awful lot of people seemed to be doing much better than I was. And these people didn't seem to be smarter or better than me. They just seemed to be more successful than me. So I began asking a question that changed my life. And the question was, why is it that some people are more successful than others? Why? Everybody starts off pretty much the same. In America, everybody starts off with very little or nothing. Almost 90% of people who have money today started from zero. They're self-made from the ground up, including most billionaires like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett started with nothing. So why are some people more successful than others? Now, when I was growing up, I was told that if you don't get a good education, you won't be successful in life. If you don't get to go to a good college, you won't get a good job, you won't marry well, and so on. But I looked into that and I found that it's not information. If it was information, all librarians would be rich because they've got all the information in the world at their fingertips. There's something else. So I began to penetrate it. I came across the law from Aristotle. It was called the principle of causality. We call it the law of cause and effect. And the law of cause and effect is the great law of the universe. It's the iron law. It's the law that determines and predicts everything. It says that if you can be clear about an effect that you want financial success, health, happy relationships, great life, beautiful home, car, business, whatever it happens to be, if you can be clear about the goal, then you can trace it back to the causes. And you look at someone else who has achieved the goal that you want to achieve and find out what they did, who they are and what they did. And if you do the same things over and over again, you soon get the same results. And if you don't, you don't. And it's a matter of law. Now, this is really important because nature is neutral. Nature doesn't care. Nature doesn't care if you're a new immigrant or an uneducated person or come from a poor family. All nature says is if you do what other successful people do, you soon get the same results that other successful people get. And that changed my whole life. I got into sales, straight commission, knocking on doors, cold calling, and I finally began to learn how to sell. And my sales went up and up and up, and I became a sales manager, and then I became a sales executive, and then I became a corporate executive. Every single stage I studied and learned. What do you have to do to be successful in this field? Now, in the 21st century, the information age, the age of knowledge, the law of cause and effect is learn and do. Learn what you need to learn and do what you need to do. And so then I began to look deeper, and I found that successful people not only have skills and abilities that they've developed, but they also have key qualities of character and personality. And the most important is self-discipline. Self-discipline is the granddaddy skill. It's what makes everything else possible in life. Now, there's many definitions of self-discipline. Somebody say discipline is tons of, success is tons of discipline. Some people say that regret weighs ounces or regret weighs tons, but discipline weighs ounces. Well, the fact is that the best definition of self-discipline is this. Self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what you know you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. And that's the difference between success and failure, is whether you feel like it or not. You get up in the morning early to start your day, whether you feel like it or not. You plan your day, you listen, you learn, you read, you hit it all day long, you do the things that most people don't like to do, and as a result, not only do you become more successful, but your self-discipline gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Now here's the great discovery. You already know most of what you need to know to be successful. You just have to have the discipline to do it. And here's the good news. Self-discipline is a quality that is learnable through practice. If you can ride a bicycle, if you can drive a car, if you can use a modern cell phone, you can learn how to become a clear, focused, disciplined man or woman who can then accomplish anything that you want to do in life. I spent years and years and years studying this subject, speaking to thousands of people, and now I've created a new program. I call it the Miracle of Self-Discipline. In this program, which is almost 7 hours of great ideas, it covers 21 areas where discipline in your life can transform your results, and it shows you how step by step, day by day, you can become a highly disciplined person. Now here's the final discovery. As you listen to this program and you practice these ideas, which are used by all successful people without exception worldwide, as you practice these ideas, your self-esteem goes up, your self-image improves, you feel happier, you feel more empowered, you feel stronger, your handshake becomes firmer, you become a better person. You actually develop deeper character and become a person who is capable of accomplishing anything. And in this program, the Miracle of Self-Discipline, you will learn how to become one of the most disciplined people you ever met. And once you do that, you will succeed at levels that you never imagined possible. So please, order this program immediately and begin listening. It's unconditionally guaranteed. If you don't like it, you can send it back. But my promise to you is this: it will change your life forever.
Hi, it's Tony Robbins again. Welcome to session number 3. What are the only 3 ways to grow your business? The way to create geometric growth. Listen, we've talked a little bit about philosophy and strategy of changing your state and getting peak performance and how to maximize resources now. But if we're going to go beyond the leadership to the mechanics now, we all need a plan. In fact, if you work with one of our coaches, they'll tell you that trying to have a business plan, like a 5-year business plan today, is a joke. What we really need more of is a map. Because the world is changing so rapidly right now. The economy, technology, change happens more rapidly than any time in history. All of the information that we've ever accumulated in the history of mankind over thousands of years now gets doubled about every 3 years. And it's happening faster and faster. So today, to think I know what's going to be like 5 years from now is ridiculous. But what I do need is an overall map. A map that can answer 5 questions for me, and that ultimately leads to what this DVD is about, which says, these are the exact 3 ways I'm going to grow my business in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months. And here are the numbers we're going to do it by. Because what's really ironic is it doesn't matter what business you're in. Again, whether you sell B2B or B2C to consumers, whether you're something you're selling a product that's, marketing a service to businesses, whether you're in a place where you're doing real estate, whether you're selling high technology, whether you're exclusively on the web, whether you're selling to the government. Doesn't matter the process. There's only these 3 ways to grow your business. So we're going to introduce you to those 3 ways. And here's what I want to make sure you do in this particular session. And I won't keep showing up each time to interrupt this. From now on, you'll just start your sessions. But I wanted to mark this one out because if you just listen to this DVD and go, oh, this makes sense, or yeah, I know that, you're going to cheat yourself big time. What you want to do is take what we're talking about that we've tried to make so simple that people won't fail to follow through. They'll do what's necessary to get the result. This DVD is really the result of a 25-plus year relationship with a dear friend of mine, Jay Abraham. These 3 distinctions came out of a time I remember sitting down with him doing this interview and saying, gosh, Jay, you and I have worked with so many businesses. You've been with tens of thousands of businesses, all different kinds of industries. And you've noticed there's only so many ways to market. There's only so many ways to change things. But, realtors tend to do it one way, and people that sell B2B do it another, and some people in the travel business do these big organizational meets. There's so many different ways, but you've learned how to cross-pollinate them. You've learned so many strategies for increasing a business, but people get overwhelmed when they hear too much. And we both want to give them everything. What if we started them out with just 3 things that were so clear, everyone on the team, after they understood this and did the math, could figure out in their own business the map to go from where they are to where they want to be in the next 6, 12 to 18 months, and they knew in their gut it was real. If we had to break everything down to 3 things, what would those 3 things be? And I'm not going to reveal it. You'll see it in a moment. They're real simple. But when you focus and you do it, your entire business changes. I've done this over and over again. I've taken over businesses that were in bankruptcy and turned them around, transformed them 35, 50, 75, 100%, sometimes 250%, literally in less than 12 months. I've done it with my own businesses, and I've helped other companies do it as well. So I want you to really do this. And if you want to go deeper, again, your coach can walk this through with you afterwards, but don't leave this DVD. When it's done, do the homework. Sit, write down with your team, calculate the numbers, get the answers that you need, and most importantly, write down why. Why are we going to do this no matter what? Remember, reasons come first, answers come second. If you get a strong enough why to do something and what you've laid out can work, if you know why to do it, you'll figure out how to do it. That's what this is really about. And one other thing, when you do talk to your coach, you might ask them about the 5 questions that help you build a business map. One of those questions you really got to know is, what business are you really in? What business are you really in? You know, some people, you know, the old adage, people in the railroad business thought they were in the railroad business, didn't realize they were in the transportation business. They were the richest men in the world, and trucks were being made by Ford. They could have bought all of Ford for pennies, a small percentage of what they owned, but they thought, no, we know what business we're in. We're here in the railroad business. You know the adage. And they're no longer around. Those guys went from the richest in the world to some of the poorest in the world because the game changed. Today, the game changes a lot. So you got to keep asking yourself, what business am I really in? What do I really need to do for my customers? Second question, why am I in business? If you have a business map, you got to have the reasons that are going to keep pushing you. Why am I in business? Why did I get in business originally? A lot of people tell me, you know, new business owners will say, and you know, I got into business so that I could have more free time. Good, that's like saying I like to have a child so I can have more free time. Why did you get in business originally? Why are you in this business today? You got to have the reasons that are going to make you succeed and follow through. And also, where's the gap between where you are and where you want to be? Why do you want to be here? Where's the gap? How are you going to close that gap? Third question our coaches will walk you through is the question, and by the way, you might want to do this even before we start if you want, and that is, who am I really in this business? There's 3 kinds of people. There's the person who is the incredibly talented, gifted artist. Somebody who has a special skill. That's what starts most businesses. They were this incredible genius in software, and they thought, why should I work for this company? I'm going to start this thing myself. But what they love to do most is create software. They don't manage people very well, and they don't manage the risks very well that an entrepreneur takes. They just keep wanting to do that, making that product. And if that's your skill, you want to make sure you spend more time doing that, and you get some good managers, and you get a great entrepreneur as a partner. Are you the kind of person who really loves to manage people and processes? If that skill, every business needs you. But you got to own that skill and make sure you spend most of your time effectively managing, not trying to do things that really, you're not the artist. You're not the skilled one in that area. It's not your total talent. Your talent is the people and process management. Are you the entrepreneur? Are you the person that wants to take big risks and you're willing to put yourself on the line, your money, your time, your energy? You're constantly figuring out how to expand this and shape it. Every business needs people that are great artists, great talents, great skilled individuals. We need people that are great managers, and we need great entrepreneurs. It might be important for you as you work with your coach, as you create kind of your business map to go, what business are we in today? What business do we need to be in? Why did we get in this business originally? Why are we in it now? Where's the gap? Who are we? Who are the best artists, talents, people with gifts? I mean, Kobe Bryant has an unbelievable gift. He makes, what, $27 million a year? The manager that everybody wants to be makes about $7 million a year. You know, the entrepreneur lost money with the Lakers last year. So some people think being the entrepreneur is always the answer. Figure out who you are and how to spend more time with that. That's what our coaches can help you with as well. Fourthly, figure out where you are. Where you are means, where are you in your own life cycle? We all have seasons. A springtime of our life, our youth, we just got so much energy, you can just burn it, you don't have to think about it. A summertime where we start to figure out how to apply ourselves, maybe in our 30s to our 40s. Maybe a fall, an autumn where we're in our 40s or 50s, maybe early 60s, and we're in our power. You've worked hard in the springtime, and you worked hard through the summer, and you've mastered so much, so you really now in that place where you're starting to reap rewards from all those years of commitment. Or maybe you're in winter. Maybe you're post 60s or 70s or 80s, and you're now the elder of the tribe. You're a person who has value that you want to give. You want to mentor people. The reason I say that is you're going to look at your business or your management or the way you run in this business differently in your 20s than your 30s, than your 40s, than your 50s, than your 60s or 70s. Does it make sense? Right now, I'm just kind of planting some seeds before you start this process of your plan to remember that it's great to have your plan, but how you're going to apply it is based on what business you're really in and what business you should be in. It's based on why you're in it. That's going to get you to follow through and drive and knowing where the gaps are you want to close. It's based on who you are. Are you that person that creates the product? Are you that person that manages the processes? Are you that entrepreneur? And it's for where you are. You know, where are you right now as a business? Are you brand new? You know, a little toddler just getting going? Are you a teenager? The company's growing like crazy, really fast? Are you a young adult where you're starting to say, okay, we got to do fewer things but do them better when you put systems in place? Are you in a position where now you're in prime? The business has systems and we're growing our sales and our profits. Are you a company that's aging? Again, these are things that our coaches can go over with you that I want to plant the seed with you on, because if a company is just starting to grow, you got to manage it differently than if the company is mature or aging, if that makes sense. If the company's brand new, you got to do things very differently. Where are you? Where are you in your own life cycle? Where are you in the business life cycle? This is what we teach in our business mastery programs as well. We take 4 or 5 hours on this. In fact, most people say that understanding their business map, understanding where they are in the business life cycle, knowing they have to do different things each time, we ask people to put a value on it. We've never had anybody say that that day was less than $1 million. So if you can come to Business Mastery, we'd love to have you, or get with your coach and let them start to explain to you how to decide when to do what based on where you are. Where's your industry? You know, one of the companies that I have was in the television business, in the infomercial business. We started out that business, to give you a sense, when it was fairly new. I was one of the first companies in that area. And we grew with my partners at Guthrie Ranker Corporation. And we expanded. And that industry grew, and we were the top of it, and we did incredibly well. And I still have some infomercials. I still have them. They're quite successful. But the industry is aging. I could be in my prime. My product could be in its prime. But now, very few people watch an infomercial. When we started out, there were 35 or 50 channels. Now there's 500 channels and nobody watches them, right? We all get it off Apple TV, or you get it off your DVD or DVR, I should say. You know, and most people aren't watching television. They flip through the commercials. They skip through that area. It's hard to be ubiquitous when there's 500 choices and very few people are even looking at all 500 choices. So now, even if we maximize our business, we have to know the season. What stage? Where is the industry? Which means you want to get out of that and get into how you utilize the internet as an example, which is part of this program, by the way. So think about where you are in your life, where you are in your company, where you are in the life cycle of your industry, and maybe take a look at where we are in the life cycle of even the economy. You know, there's winters when things are a little tougher. You have to do things differently than springtime when everybody just has total optimism and they go. Again, I'm telling you this because your coach can walk you through it. And when you're thinking about your business and you want a business map, these are some of the questions. And finally, the 5th question is, what's next? Once you know what business you're really in, once you know what business you need to be in, once you know why you're in business number 2 and why you were in it originally, why you're in it now, what's going to drive you and where the gaps are, once you know who you are, and you make sure you get the right talented people and the right managers and the right entrepreneurs working together with the same goals. Once you know where you are, so you can maximize wherever you are in your life, in your company, in your industry, in the economy, then you start to know where to go next. Now that seems like a lot to put in front of you, but I just want to plant the seed. So if you wanted to before you began, you could answer these 5 questions, and there's a little worksheet in front of you. But if you want to forget all that, if you say, Tony, I don't want a map. I just want a real clean 3-step process that we create that's based on real numbers, that's going to grow our business by 1/3 in the next 6, 12, 18 months, or 250%. That's what you're going to get in this next DVD. All right? I won't be jumping in anymore. You're just going to be going through the program from out here. But I just wanted to plant that seed with you that business plans for 5 years, forget it. Get a map. A map will show you when things change, here's still how to get there. And if you want a map to really work, take advantage of your coach, because they know the map really well, and they can help answer some questions and guide you along the way. And we want to maximize results for you and for your organization. So thanks for listening. Let's get started with what are the only 3 ways to grow your business. How do you get geometric growth? Let the journey begin.
Hello, I'm Brian Tracy. Some time ago, my friends at Nightingale Conant came to me and said, you know, there's a huge need for a program on self-discipline. It's mentioned in every single program on success, but there's no place where it is focused on exclusively. So I sat down and I spent about 2 years pulling together ideas and research from my 30 years of reading and study and practice, and I put together a program called The Miracle of Self-Discipline. 21 key areas of your life where self-discipline is indispensable for success. And in this time we have together, what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk about just one of those 21 areas, and that has to do with time. What I found is that all successful people are good time managers. All successful people in study after study have the ability to get results consistently and dependably. And all failures are poor time managers. And the wonderful thing about this is that time management is a learnable skill, because if you can learn the skills and then you can practice self-discipline to make those skills habitual, you can double and triple your productivity, your performance, and your income. It is a miracle. I have spoken all over the world on this subject, and people's lives have been transformed by learning the disciplines of time management. Now, the key to the discipline of time management is your ability to set priorities. Here's the rule. You'll never get everything done. You'll never get caught up. We say you cannot even save time. You can only spend time. You can only spend time differently. So what you do with the discipline of time management is you learn how to focus your time, the limited time you have, on those things that are more important than anything else. You know that if you make a list of 10 things, probably one thing on that list is worth more than all the others put together. So in my program, in this part on time management, you learn these critical skills in increasing your personal effectiveness. Number one, you learn the discipline of making a list before starting anything. There's a rule that every minute spent in planning, even your day, saves 10 minutes in execution or getting results. So what we find is that all top people make a list before they begin, and then they follow the list. You've heard the old saying, make a plan, follow your plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail, and it all starts with you and a piece of paper. You can increase your productivity by 25 to 50% the first day that you begin working from a list and going through the list step by step. Now, the second thing you do when you have the list is you apply the 80-20 rule to your list. You go down the list and you say, what are the 20% of tasks on this list that represent 80% of the value of all the things on my list? If you have a list of 10 things to do, 2 of those items will be worth more than all the others put together. And you think this through before you begin, because if you don't, you'll start on the small and fun and easy, and the big tasks will sit there and they will grow, and you'll start to feel stress and tension because you're not getting your critical stuff done. Now, here's a great question. It's one of the great time management questions and great disciplines. Ask this question: what can you and only you do that, if done well, will make a major difference? What can you and only you do? If you don't do it, it won't get done. But if you do it and you do it well, it will make a major difference to yourself, your life, your company, your finances. And there's always one answer to that question every minute of every day. So when you look at your list, you look at that list and say, what can I and only I do that will really make a difference? And then you discipline yourself to start on that task. Another key question for self-discipline is the key results that are expected of you. What we find is that in every field of work, there's about 5 to 7 key result areas. There's 5 to 7 results that you have to get: prospecting, presenting, closing sales, hiring, recruiting, managing, motivating. Whatever your job is, there's key results. Be clear about what those results are, because if you're not clear, you know what will happen? Is you'll start working on things of low value, of no value. You'll start wasting time, and at the end of the day, you'll feel frustrated and stressed because you're not getting your key results completed. The key question in time management is, say, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? What is the most valuable use of my time right now? And whatever your answer to that question is, every minute of every day, that's what you need to be working on. Now, here's the good news. All time management disciplines are learnable. You can learn how to become an excellent time manager. You can learn how to become excellent in disciplining yourselves to do the things you need to do when you need to do them, to not do the things that are of low value. You can become focused and concentrated and a high-performance person by learning and practicing the self-disciplines day after day. Now, in our program, The Miracle of Self-Discipline, that I've produced with Nightingale Conant, we give you 21 areas where self-discipline can change your life. Time management is just one of the 21 areas. We show you that there's a direct relationship between how much you discipline yourself and your self-esteem and self-confidence. The more you discipline yourself, the more powerful you feel. The more you discipline yourself, the more you get done. And every discipline strengthens every other discipline. Soon, you become an absolutely unstoppable human being with the miracle of self-discipline. And it's unconditionally guaranteed. If you don't like it, you can send it back and there's no charge. So please, get the miracle of self-discipline now. My promise to you is that it will change your life.